tells you need to rest or take a break. Sometimes we listen, sometimes we don't. And this was forced because I got food mild, I'll not say mild, severe food poisoning, which I didn't understand because I ate food from my own house. And it really messed me up until I could not even sit upright. That's how bad it was. But anyway, before that, we talked about a lot of things. And today we are going to talk a lot more. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am not in charge of how you interpret, how you internalize, and how you perceive it. And I expect you to do the same to me. So today's topic is about if things were taken literally. We haven't taken a lot of time to think of the changes that are going around, like mostly about AI. And truth be told, uh, when you see the advertisement of saying, oh, yeah, companies will replace people, a couple of people, because one person understands AI, so they can do all the other people's job. And well, videos or movies, let's say, uh, have shown us time and time again if it takes over, and yet we use it as an entertainment and forget this is how the outlook or how it will behave or one of the outcomes that might happen. Also about movies that start the storyline, oh yeah, the population has grown and there are some particular people that will think of how to save humanity according to them, and try to regulate people or the amount of food you're supposed to intake, or uh, how you're supposed to reproduce. Well, one thing for sure, most of millennials are like, nah, child free, living their best life. But anyway, they're doing their part to help with the population indirectly. So that's one of way to look at it. Then we have also, we forget we are our own enemies. Welcome. Wow, that's a name. Kadiv, Kadiv, ooh, that's a name. Yes. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So I might say we keep on saying, like us here in Africa, let's let me bring it home because that's where I reside, and this is something that maybe I've noticed or seen time and time again. Welcome, Atrisa. So most of the things we hear about having dictatorship, tyranny. Hi, Lisa. Thank you. And while you really look at it, and there's somebody who said that sometimes it's also influenced by outside influence to make a country either ungovernable or unrest, so that, if they are rich with minerals, you will not question if it is going away. Hi, Scribble. I have no idea. I'm not famous, but I'm just working on something relatable. So you might find a country there is no peace or civil war. Then even movies have shown, like I said, and I'm saying it again. Most movies really are a reflection of what society is. And when you see movies such as, which one was it? The Black Diamond, and portraying how the industry of diamonds, before it becomes that expensive gem in the luxurious jewelries, how it passes through, and how many people die over such, and how many things are off before um, that industry grows. And then I'm reminded that most gold, sorry to say, uh, comes from our blood, the bloodshed of people, uh, and I'm like, whoa, some dark history over there. So like the black diamond uh industry, uh, my opinion, locally, obviously they cannot do it without local influence or local leadership in tap, so that they can get a taste of the piece of pie handed to them, so that they can also benefit from that. And you find the enemy of a nation, it's his own, I'll not say leaders, its own people who have self drive to riches or to power or to craziness above all. Because uh, local authorities do have the mandate to control what minerals and who is given the either the license to operate or um, for importation and exportation, and also for carrying out the local treasures. And right now, there's a lot of debate here in Kenya. I'll not even tap to it because it's very sensitive. But I'm looking at the movie showed us about Black Diamond and how the diamond transferred, or how they were, what's it, uh, harvesting, or is it harvesting? When you're dealing with diamond in the rivers and lakes, is it harvesting? Okay, I'll just put it as that. Harvesting or looking, mining, whichever the case. And those who actually do the work die poor, or even get diseases, because you're talking about fetching them from rivers, streams, and waterways, they're exposed to, well, bilharzia, which we learned in high school, that is spread by snails, mm, which people eat. That's another topic for another day. Uh, then there's mosquito infestation, malaria, high possibility typhoid, and also, well, depending with the type of weather, body issues, especially lung affected issues. Then they are the ones who are doing the actual work. Then I say nearly everything is a pyramid that happens, because the one who's actually doing the work does more effort but earns the least than the person who maybe just bought stocks on the company selling diamonds, or just bought shares, or even invested in the diamond and left it for the family heirloom. Hmm. Now, and then they are guided or guarded by local authority. Yes, those get higher pay than the people doing actual work. Then you find the people who collect to export them get paid also, but more than even the guards who are guarding the miners who are doing the actual job. And then it gets exported to the shop, to the jewelry who, according to them, clean them, and also either coded them and distribute them. They get higher pay than the person who's doing the retrieval from the mining or the river banks, whichever place. And then those companies, the jewelry, the owners, the insurance company, have more money to insure this jewel than the person who actually did the job. So yeah, it just, the higher you go, yes, the more money they get. And the lower you go, the least money you get, and the more hardship they attain. It's all happening in all industries, even in the offices. We say the bosses earn more than the actual workers. So life is just a pyramid. Let me bust that bubble. And we take that literally like that. And then we talk about also relationship. I'm not saying relationships are pyramid. Every ooh, the accent is coming out. Every relationship does have its ups and downs, and also different lanes and how well it's going or how off it's going. Um, Recently, we were just talking generally, and it's you'll find something similar, that the new relationships, you'll find, yeah, they have that connection, yes, but when you want to see a person as an individual, celebrate them as an individual, you'll find it hard because, well, in uh locals, you'll find them together anywhere you go. You cannot find one without the other. Yes, yes, one plus one makes one, but sometimes you immerse yourself in that relationship, that individuality is not celebrated anymore. And that's sad because in the past, yeah, I'm old, and I experienced the past life. When we grew up and saw what our parents used to do. I was even reminded today with my best friend. Um, our time, usually fathers were afraid. Uh, no, children were afraid of fathers because they will not even have to speak. It will just make weird sounds, or not acknowledge them as good sounds, but weird sounds, and you either straighten up or shut up. And now you'll find it has gotten better because you'll find other fathers embracing fatherhood and being around the kids, understanding the kids, talking to the kids, and even being in presence and involved. Then there are also fathers who just become ghosts. There's a difference. So, yes, in the past, the fathers were, I'll not say present, they were there, but as a figure, because most of the time, and I think that's where the problem sometimes with most of us millennials grew up, knowing the mother is a disciplinarian, the mother is the one who's always there when the kids are doing homework, checking their homework if it's right. Except, I'm not saying all of them, except some exceptional houses that fathers were the ones who wanted to see their children education is going well, their discipline is also on point, and you'll have known who has whose parent is active more in their lives during PTA meetings in school. You'll find, I remember in high school, some fathers would be outspoken even in the meetings and speak for their children and what they want better to be improved. And they'll also, during when you have that single time, because our school we didn't have visiting day, it was a boarding school, and during the meetings, the parents, the PTA teacher, parents teachers association meetings, that's when our parents will come and give us, you'll have that moment, like 1 hour to 2 hours, to interact with your parent. And obviously they'll bring you snacks or food, and you'll see the father who's attentive. There are fathers who will bring it, or even instead of bringing food because it's a hassle, uh, the fathers will opt giving them good pocket money. There's one girl I remember used to be given, when the father comes, 5,000. And that's a lot of money for a kid in high school. considering we only studied for 1.5 months, for between when you open school, 1.5 months, and then you go for midterm break, which was also the shortest. Right now, the kids are in the midterm break and they're having a full week. As we only had, you're released on Friday, Monday, you're in school, or Tuesday, by the save of grace. But other than that, that was our midterm break. And even sometimes people will not, those who lived either a country away or a distance, a really big distance away, would opt to stay in school and not go for the break, except call their parents for them to send them pocket money for that duration. So yeah, so seeing how parents are present in the PTAs, you know. For me, when my parents were together, even in primary school, that's when they were together, because separated when I was in Form 1. But anyway, I digress. Um, in primary school, I remember getting the newsletter and presenting to my parents. My dad would always say, give it to your mom, even not even reading, not even attempting to read it. So my mom would, I only remember my dad coming to only one PTA, and I was in class 6. Even my classmates was wondering, like, you talk about your dad, but we have never even seen him in any meeting. Uh, reason? Whew, yeah, I still have bitterness. He usually said he was busy, like my mom didn't wasn't employed. Anyway, that aside. So if things were taken literally, and we say an enemy of the people is the people, especially those, not greed. I'll not even call it greed, because that surpasses greed. Even gluttons are even at least selfish, a little bit self-centered, or a little bit generous. The type of greed that is there, that is, you destroy your own people. I don't know who you're appeasing for. And then come back to the same people and try to show them that you're their savior is beyond me. And I'll leave it at that. And that's all we had for today. Thank you for all those who joined, liked, subscribed, and also commented, and also shared their views. Not yet, but said hi. Thank you all for joining. Until next Tuesday, God willing now, because the body can decide to do its own script. Bye bye.